Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? Sorry for this additional live stream this morning, but as you know, I've been up early. Wanted to make sure we did the daily financial news. Wanted to share some other YouTube channels with you. So as I've shared earlier, a couple of the YouTube channels I watched this morning left me uncomfortable and scared. And what I wanted to do on this particular video is share with you a YouTube channel that I have been going to for a while now when I just want to feel better. I want to get a jolt of electricity. It could be maybe after a hard day or getting ready for a workout. And that is a YouTube channel called Motivation Madness. Now, I've watched this channel. I probably see 5 videos a month from this particular channel, so it is in my rotation. I like channels that leave me pumped, excited, all of that. But for this particular video, again, I want to give feedback. Again, Motivation Madness, 1.87 million subscribers, and definitely a fan of the channel, and I'm one of those subscribers. This particular video was called Chadwick Boseman's Life Advice Will Leave You Speechless, R.I.P. Black Panther. That was the name of the video. And essentially, this is a video recording of Chadwick Boseman's commencement address to the graduates at Howard University, which is the school he graduated from. And the story that he tells, right, clearly Mr. Boseman had the ability to tell a story. He is or was a tremendous actor. We lost a good one, in my opinion. He tells a story about being at Howard as a student and going through the quad on a rough day. And out of nowhere, he bumps into Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali at this time is he's suffering through what we all know he went through, and he's not Muhammad Ali the boxer, right? When in his prime, but he still had the ability to raise the hopes of, at that point, young Chadwick. He put up his dukes and he did a little dance, and it was just a moment, but it was enough to impact Chadwick that day. Chadwick talks about going away on cloud and just feeling better. There's a couple of things in that story that I hope you take away from that. First, you don't have to be Muhammad Ali to help somebody out who's having a bad day. Listening to the story, it doesn't even sound like words were said. Think about that. You see somebody out there who's looking down, sullen, just looks to be having a rough day. Flash them a smile. Give them a wave. There's a lot of stuff going on today. And you don't have to be Muhammad Ali or a movie star to be a kind, nice person and pick somebody up. Not sure if that was the point of the video on Motivation Madness, but that was just the beginning. Again, we are in it. 2020 is rough. But what can you do to pick others up? And I'm not talking financially. I'm not talking donations. I'm talking what can you do to pick them up emotionally? Think about that. That is something that I'll be thinking about for sure. Again, you don't have to be Muhammad Ali to be kind, to give somebody a gesture, to give somebody a smile. If you have the ability to take a few seconds and give them encouraging words, do that. We all can use a little bit of happiness in 2020. Next up, Chadwick goes, and this is about a 15-minute speech, as I recall, goes in and talks about everybody has a unique challenge, right? And he's talking to college graduates, which for the most part call them 22, right? Right? Some of you have had difficulties with grades. Some of you have had difficulty with money. Some of you had difficulties fitting in. Some of you all fit in too much and didn't do your best work to the end. He goes in and just, again, in that speech, it's like we all have our own baggage. We all have our own challenges. And the point of this is to pick up and move forward. one of the things that I am really proud of now is on this channel, we've interviewed all kinds of real estate professionals from all walks of life. High school dropouts, felons, people starting early, people starting late, people of all colors, race, creeds, all of that. If you can find anybody else that had your variables or situation, get off your butt and go, right? It's possible. That's what makes America great, is it's all possible for us. And again, Chadwick does it in his own wonderful storytelling way, and a speech that made me feel good. After graduating, he talks about getting having success. He goes on I think it was a Broadway play, and gets the lead role. Then he goes on an acting for a soap opera and gets it. And, he's uncomfortable in the role, right? He is playing an African-American gentleman who comes from a checkered past and has a violent It's things that he's uncomfortable with because he doesn't understand the richness of the character. So after 2 days, the powers that be call him into the office. And their intention, again, repeating the story told by Chadwick, was to praise him and tell him how great he is and that they want him on the show for a long term. This is after day 2. Chadwick says basically thank you, and then he does the uncomfortable. He asks the powers that be some questions that they were not ready for. He asks about the character. He asks, well, where's the father? Because he's playing a character and he wants to understand it at a richer level. And the response back from the other folks was, he's not around. Okay, I get that. That's possible. And then he asks about the mother, again, of the character he is playing. Well, it's kind of alluded to that she wasn't able to raise her kids. Well, why is that? The answer back, well, she's a drug addict, of course. Oh, well, okay. Chadwick, uncomfortable, comes back and asks some more deeper questions, basically trying to pull out what is the goodness in this character. This is, again, after day 2, a job that he was hoping to make six figures from. After they just praised him and said, hey, we want you on the show for a long term. So lo and behold, doesn't really get the answers he was looking for. He goes back, records day 3, because he went there before the recording of day 3. And by day 4, after those powers that be said they want him forever, they cut him from the show. We went a different direction. Wow. That's harsh. There's so much in that story of real life decisions. First off, the powers that be, let me just tell you, you suck. That's not the way to treat people. That's not okay. You may know which soap opera he was on. I didn't bother looking. He didn't name anybody, which I thought was the right thing to do. But we could probably look it up and figure out who was not a nice person. But then Chadwick talks about he was comfortable with their decision. It was theirs. They can do whatever they want. But he was comfortable with what he did. And he knew that could happen. He had no regrets. He wanted to understand and look for hope. He didn't and still never wanted to play the victim role. Think about this. This speech, I believe, was 2 years ago. So he was already diagnosed with colon cancer, which would ultimately take his life. He never played the victim. Near as I can tell, he never told anyone, really. You got to respect that. He lived his life. He knew it was the harder way, but in his mind, it was the right way. I thought that was awesome. And again, it's one of the reasons I watch Motivation Madness, because at the end of that session, I felt better. Also, it made me think, right? I'm not an actor. I'm not African American. I didn't graduate from Howard, but it made me think. It made me ask questions. It made me try to relate. These are the things that we need to do. We all need to get out of our bubble. We all need to understand and appreciate the different colors and just the vibrant rainbow that makes up America. And stop saying, hey, I'm red, so everybody else sucks. Hey, I'm blue, everybody else sucks. No. It's a smorgasbord of wonderful colors, shapes, sizes, and we are all better for it long term. So again, if you ever want to feel better, you ever want to think, I certainly recommend Motivation Madness. Doesn't disappoint. I've never been disappointed in any of the videos that I have watched. Yeah, it's a good channel for me. So at the end of the day, Chadwick, rest in peace. I thought you lived life on your terms. I could not imagine what you were going through those last 4 years, 2 years, 6 months, 3 months. You are a very, very brave man. You impacted lots of lives. Your memory will be for generations. So you touched a lot of souls, and you should feel good about what you did. So take care, everyone. Have fun. I do have one more YouTube channel that I watched, but I'm going to record that later. I want to leave this morning on a high note. I'm feeling good. I'm going to go get some more coffee. Take care. Bye.